She doesn't just exist in a file on somebody's desk. She was a person, she was a mother, she was an aunt and a daughter.
And good evening. After the number of murders in Cleveland continues to rise, the men and women in blue are now getting some help.
In what's being described as an unprecedented move, Cleveland police are adding detectives to their homicide unit. But as Don Kendrick found out, this may be one of many steps to real change.
Jamila Hassan, 37 years old, murdered on Cleveland's east side.
She had been stabbed 11 to 15 times.
Last Friday marked
68 months.
That is by a mom's count, who is still waiting for closure in a case that's gone cold.
So as the weeks went on, then it was months. Now it's 5.5 years.
The short version is, first Cleveland homicide detective assigned retired. Second detective was reassigned, yet another assigned in February.
Didn't hear from him, called in July, found out he's retired. Now there's a new detective who has to talk to the retired detective.
So, for Aisha Hassan, word of Cleveland police beefing up the homicide unit sounded like an excellent idea. Finally, she thought.
And that her file, she doesn't just exist in a file on somebody's desk. She was a person, she was a mother, she was an aunt and a daughter.
The plan, tapping 5, quote, seasoned investigators from other parts of the city to help out in homicide, essentially part-time homicide investigators to do important, critical, time-consuming work.
Conducting interviews, gathering video evidence, collecting evidence, transporting evidence. An additional resource like that is invaluable.
But hold on. The guy who represents Cleveland police officers, Union President Jeff Fulmer, would like to point out moving 5 investigators from the neighborhoods over to help with homicide is hardly what he calls additional resources. Open homicide review investigations, or formally cold cases, have a separate set of investigators that include a sheriff's deputy and the FBI.
They have not reached out at all.
And the new help in homicide doesn't help families like the Hassans.
As far as this, they're going to be with whatever comes in.
From here forward.
Here forward, but the biggest value is going to be felt probably in the actual cases, new cases coming in.
In my heart, every day I say to her, I'm not going to stop. Every day. When I wake up, she's the first thought on my mind.
And that is one family with a story from almost 6 years ago. CPD reporting 74 homicides so far this year, added then to the caseload for 13 homicide detectives. September is when CPD says we could expect, by the way, more homicide detectives hired permanently. It will be fewer, however, than the 5 who are now being temporarily detained. And Russ, how about this for a perspective check? Just less than a year ago, we did an interview and the police union told us that Columbus had 55 homicides, a smaller city, obviously, compared to 13 here. And at that time, detectives, excuse me, and 99 homicides in Columbus for the entire year. So their words were, that's insane. It's the imbalance, it's insane.
And again, how many do we have here? 55 there. How many do we have? 13, you said?
We have 13.
Okay, just to put that in perspective. Also to put it in perspective, just want to underscore, this move is a direct response to the rising number of homicides in Cleveland.
Absolutely. They know it. They know it, Russ. And, you know, you heard Aisha say that she wants Jamila to be more than a statistic in a file on someone's desk. But don't you know, these detectives would rather not be buried under those files either. They have families, too. So this is clearly, it sure seems anyway, a step in the right direction.
Okay. Don Kendrick, thank you.
Thank you.